Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at both charts, only briefly though. Don't have too much time, but I still wanted to keep you updated. Not too much has happened, but it's moving further into the direction of my primary expectation. So let's take a look here at the Bitcoin chart. I'll keep it brief. So we are still in this overall correction here, coming down from the all-time high. My view is that this B wave, the all-time high wave, was just a corrective wave after our previous all-time high, and that we're now moving down in a so-called wave C, which is an impulsive wave to the downside and should ideally come into the region below the wave A. The wave A was here at around 29k back in June, and for the wave C to complete in a clean way, in a clean fashion, we need to drop below that wave A. So therefore my yellow target area is still down here, hasn't been reached yet. My target areas that I talked about for various altcoins have been reached already, because the altcoins are more volatile, but also the target areas in percent of the price drop were lower anyway than Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin to reach these price levels that I talked about for many altcoins, it would even need to drop below the 20k area here. However, so far also in this move down, a lot of the target areas for the individual waves were hit, and now we're looking here at the potentially final wave down. But it could be that we are not yet in the final wave down. I did mention that in the last few videos, and it seems like also here the forecast from the last video is playing out. So we talked about two things here. We talked about that the 46.5k level is not allowed to be broken. It cannot be broken. Well, it can, but if it breaks, then we're not talking about this imminent scenario with an imminent sell-off. Then we're talking about a scenario where Bitcoin could move all the way up to 65k even. But that's it then. That should be it. That would be an extension of a correction. It would be a wave B. I mean, there are different scenarios that how you can count this scenario, and I showed it in previous videos. Won't really show it again until it really happens. That just means we have an extension of the whole correction. Bitcoin in this scenario would move all the way up into an area, a minimum area 51k, minimum price level 51k, ideal level would be 55k, and the maximum it should be able to do is 65k. From there then at the latest it should then get into my yellow target area down here. But at the moment it doesn't necessarily look like that we're doing it, because we are below the 65.5k area. So below the 46.5k area. And this is this white line here, the ascending line, the ascending support line, now resistance line, obviously, from this head and shoulders pattern that we can see on the overall chart here. So this is a head and shoulders pattern and a neckline, and this neckline is now acting as resistance. So we talked about that what we are doing here could be a first impulsive move down within this last wave 5. Okay, we have possibly already seen here our wave 1, wave 2, as forecasted. We've seen our wave 3 pretty much also as forecasted, hit the target area there. We are now seeing here potentially the wave 4 develop. Don't think we've seen the wave 4 yet, but this could be the wave 4. Bear in mind nothing moves in straight lines, so you have your ups and downs. Okay, we had the descending broadening wedge on the chart. In the last couple of videos I told you that I now expect, before we move down further, a recovery, and this is exactly what is playing out. We're breaking out of this broadening descending wedge, which is essentially a bullish pattern, and so this is playing out, and we now need to look at what are the key resistance levels here that we could be seeing. And you can already see here this white line coming down here, the support line of this pattern here, this sort of M pattern. And we are here at a level of 39.8 where we have resistance here. If that gets broken, the next main area that I'm looking at is actually here, 41.5. If it breaks above the 41.5k level, that would be here what I have marked as wave 1, then it would invalidate this downtrend, because then the wave 4 here would get into the price range of the wave 1. That is not allowed, not in this scenario, and therefore we would then invalidate it. So I think we're going to face strong resistance at 41.5k. That is certainly an area where I would expect a turnaround. If not here, then we have to go to the next level at around 44.5, 45.5. So there's a bit of a resistance zone here, and only if we break above 41.5k, then the other scenario is getting more likely again, the one that we talked about just before here, where Bitcoin could move up in an extended move up into an extended correction, right, where we could get all the way up to 65k, okay, before we then come down again. So at the moment, all going according to plan. This move up is part of the plan we talked about in the last couple of videos before it started to happen. And the reason for that is why we talked about it is because, first of all, you had this descending broadening wedge, bullish pattern, but not only that, the indicators just supported another move up. We were oversold here on the 4-hour chart. We talked about it. We had a bullish crossover on the 4-hour chart on the MACD, also on the daily chart. We were already starting to see here a recovery of the MACD. Down here you can see that, where the selling momentum is reducing, and also the RSI was starting to turn around already. It was also fairly low, and we just couldn't seem to drop below that 36.5K level, while a lot of altcoins did break key support levels. Bitcoin didn't, and all of that made me think, right, we're probably going to turn around here once more. And also, if this is supposed to become an impulsive move down, we need a proper wave 4, and this is what we could be seeing here now. So watch the 41.5K level. I think we could actually get there, but before we get there, there is the 39.5K resistance level of that descending line here. Cardano also moving in line with Bitcoin a little bit up, nothing too exciting. We talked about the potential here of breaking back into the descending wedge, and it did that, and now it's further on the way to the next resistance that we also talked about in the previous video at $1.02, which is this horizontal line, which I have actually taken off the chart. I put it on there again. $1.02, that is the line where we found support here throughout this movement, $1.02, and that goes very much in line here with the resistance level of that descending wedge. But overall, because the $1.02 level was broken, I think what we could be doing now, just performing a retest and then coming down here into the target area at some point between 30 and 55 cents. This could be happening when Bitcoin is getting its final wave down, and it looks like we first need to have a little bit of a move up, maybe turn green on the MACD before we then lose buying momentum again on the MACD, which then could push the price down in a final wave down. So again, all going according to plan. Told you the resistance and here key support levels as well. And that is it. Later today there'll be a more extensive update, but hopefully it keeps you informed nevertheless. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, check out the channel membership. There is an opportunity for you to participate in a weekly live stream, get access to the Telegram live chat, to the Discord server, which gets just bigger and bigger and more content being added. And now as well, which is new, an added benefit for gold members, which is my analysis of certain stocks and shares for everybody who's interested. All right, hopefully you liked it. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.